What's up, buddy? We're about to get started. I'm just getting this stuff all put together. Yeah, dude, the NCR trolls are out there in full force today, huh? All the NCR trolls. I'm telling you, man. They just as corrupt as the NCR themselves, man. I'm so tired of the people not understanding that. Hey, what's up, Blake? My bad, I'm just tangling the cords. Hold on, I'm about to I don't know why it's got the screen looking this way. Give me 1 second. I'll flip that around. Just wanna I'm trying to untangle the charger so it doesn't keep going off. Yeah, dude. You know, when you start to look back at the NCR a bit, it's not hard to see why Hank bombed them, dude. I mean, look, Hank may look like a bad guy, but, like, was he really that bad for taking out the NCR like that? I mean, the NCR was all corrupted. What's up, Blake? We're happy to have you here, dude. I decided to start this way earlier than I was supposed to, but I don't really mind. Hold on 1 second. We're just trying to set everything up. How was your days, everybody? Everybody have a good day today. Happy Friday. All that good stuff. Alright, there we go. I think we're ready to start. Alright, microphone check. Yeah, that's my fault. My bad. Pressed the wrong button. I thought that was funny too because it was like I did it right as like I was doing the microphone check. It's like microphone check 1 2. Yeah, no, what I meant to do was I pressed the button on top of the mic to switch the excuse me, to switch the to switch the screen around. But I was still looking down at the chords, so I thought it was just gonna flip it around while I was still doing the chords, but then when I looked up, I realized I didn't click that. I clicked the mute button. Because the mic button's right next to the flip button. What's up, Revin? Excuse me. I tried to take a quick drink, and then I almost it went down the wrong passage. And almost killed myself there by mistake. There we go. What's up, buddy? Yeah, Revin's getting huge, dude. Well, before I forget though, I wanted to go back into the NCR thing. The NCR, dude, is a bunch of crooks. I don't know how else to say that, because even when you look at it from the beginning, there were people around the NCR that were kind of glad that the NCR was coming about so they could get back, like high-end nobles and Brahmin cattle farmers, whatever you want. They all came and pretty much were able to use their their wealth and their noble status to really dictate certain things when the laws were being made with the new California Republic. With that being said, it was really, yeah, it's a land to keep everybody together and to treat it like the old world. But with that being said, some of the old world values that were being traced back for the new California Republic weren't just for good intentions. There's a lot of people that wanted to remain in the idea of a power structure. Hence, that's why there is people running for the political office. I mean, 99% of the people that run for political office run for political aspirations. That 1% actually runs for making a difference. And I think that's where the NCR, I mean, if you want to get technical, the NCR hasn't been the NCR since Tandy, whatever her name was. Since she was gone, the NCR has only been a fraction of itself. And even with the New Vegas situation, all you see is a bunch of corrupt politicians and corrupt military figures. I mean, look at General Oliver's one of the most corrupt generals you'll ever see in your life. And I'm not sure if you can get the gist of that just by playing the game. Oh, Kavar, it's a pleasure to see you again. Oh, you gotta go? Oh, no problem. Sorry I didn't read your text right away, dude. It's good to see you, though, dude. I hope you have a great rest of your day. The NCR is kind of like, it's a wolf in disguise, so to speak. Like, yeah. Well, hi, bye. It was a pleasure to see you, though, Kavar. Thank you for joining. Yeah, dude, I just, as far as the NCR goes, dude, and then that treaty with the Rangers, I mean, there's a big distinction. We also have to draw that line because sometimes people will forget this. But the NCR, and I know there's the NCR Rangers, right? And I understand that. But the NCR and the Rangers really aren't the same thing. They're like, they couldn't be more further apart. So when I say that, they joined together. It's a coalition, so to speak, I guess. But I don't think, I wager that doesn't go. Oh yeah, well there you go. I wager that doesn't go as far back into California as we think. Like from my interpretation and understanding, there's no, like, from let me start from the beginning. The Brotherhood of Steel did nothing wrong. Like the Fallout 3 one, yeah, but not like not the. I mean, I don't know. It's kind of tough. It's kind of tough to say that, I guess. But but with the Rangers, that was sort of, from my understanding, that was done to prevent the threat of the Legions, and the Rangers were their own separate entity already. I think joining with the NCR gave them access to like resources that they didn't have before. It's kind of like the Ford and Mazda, or like the Mazda and Toyota thing now, where Toyota pretty much took over Mazda. They bought Mazda, but instead of making them change everything, they said, no, you continue to run the company the way you want, but if you need any money, you come to us and we'll give it to you. And that's sort of how you had the Rangers set up. The Rangers were like a complete different cut of individuals. That's why you see, I'll give you a perfect example. That's why you see Boone being first recon as opposed to a Ranger, because he was from the NCR outfit, not a Ranger. So he wasn't incorporated. Now, with that being said, you can be an NCR soldier and a veteran and be recruited into the Rangers and become a Ranger. That can still happen. But you don't, they are two separate entities. You even see that when you go to, not Nipton, when you go to, when you leave Novak and you're going into that Nelson, when you go to Nelson, you see the Ranger even tells you he has no authorities over those troopers. He can't lead them into battle or do anything like that. All he can do is provide support. Which is why it's like, you know, the NCR itself, you know, further back into California is a very, 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 like, fraction of what it was. I mean, as far as military power goes, the military power that was, the presence in the Mojave was way more significant than anything you'd see in the West Coast, deeper in the West Coast, because you have the might of the Rangers backing up, the might of the Rangers backing up the NCR armies, and that's something you don't have deeper west. You don't have Rangers out there. There is no need for Rangers, number one. And number two, the Rangers were more so around the Mojave, Nevada area. So there was, You know, it practically, that military aspect for the NCR doesn't exist. So that branch only really consists around the Mojave area. So the Shady Sands and all these other areas, you won't find rangers like that. At least to my interpretation, based off of game lore. Now they could come up with the season 2 tomorrow and totally rewrite that, but that's my interpretation of it. I do think that NCR is one of the bad guys, but I think they're one of the bad guys because they're supposed to be, because they're destined to be a bad guy because of history. History repeats itself. So I think that when you look at Hank bombing the shit out of the NCR down in Shady Sands, I mean, maybe we can break it all down and say he did that for his own personal reasons, but did that outcome go for greater good? I think that actions caused greater good in the outcome. I think that the destruction of Shady Sands put people back into a perspective of reality, where you are in a post-apocalyptic time zone and you are in a setting where, you know, civilization had its run, that political aspirations destroyed so much, caused so much war. That way of life had failed and led to where we were, post-apocalyptic. Trying to rebuild that sort of old style of civilization, have you the NCR, ended up the same outcome, but even quicker. So it's like some people realized that those steps were going to repeat itself, and they took steps to get rid of that. You could say that Hank did that nonchalantly. Nonchalantly did that. I mean, I think that Hank was probably doing more. He What we thought was doing more harm than good actually was more good than harm, because getting rid of the NCR, a real nail in the thorn, especially when it comes to expansion. I mean, just look at the way they moved down at the down at the sharecrop farms by right outside of Vegas over there. Freeside in Vegas, the old Orion Moreno, who might have been an Enclave trooper, we don't really know for sure. But look at the way they're trying to muscle him out of his own territory. They're expanding and they're kicking people out. You either become a citizen or you get mowed over. And the NCR, what it really is just a more toned down version of the Enclave. It's not the Enclave on all fronts should be the most powerful bastion of fighters in Fallout, but in reality, the plot armor, you know, doesn't have that. Doesn't have that being the case. But on paper, the Enclave is way more efficient. They have similar goals. I mean, ultimately, all of the factions have the same goal: is to expand. No matter which faction you look at, they all expand. Brotherhood will expand. You know, Enclave wants to expand. NCR wants to expand. Legion wants to expand. They came all the way from the east, you know? So no matter what, I mean, to some aspect, I guess the only one who never really wanted to expand was Mr. House. But Mr. House, I don't consider him an actual faction. I consider him a legitimate businessman that just has really, 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 really high-end security. Hence the Securitrons. But when you want to look at it from a whole perspective, I do believe that all of them have the same goal in mind. They're all evil. It's just a matter of, you know, it's that old saying, it's just pick your poison. And if I had to choose, I would stay with the Enclave. I would pick the Enclave, and I would bring my plot armor with the Enclave, and we would take over. It would be a different way of life, but maybe that will make room for the new game where there's a rebel that wants to come out and take, you know, do some whole, you know, take us out from within and then try to change it and make freedom happen, and then it's just a cycle of war repeats itself. That's what I think is so beautiful about Fallout. It really displays a lot of situations. But I don't know, I think it's a badass situation. I think that I really hope that there's more, like when they get to New Vegas, if New Vegas is left the way it is, I hope they do more about those little mobsters at the casinos. You know how they had mobsters running casinos, except for those weirdo ones with the mask on their face, the ones that were eating people, the Omertas, the Gamoras, the Omertas. I think were the mafia ones. The White Gloves were those weirdos running around eating people's faces and stuff, and then the Tops were just a bunch of weirdos looking like Fonzie from Happy Days. But the mobsters, those guys were pretty cool. It's a shame you couldn't really do anything with them besides blow their brains out. But I really thought the mafia aspect was pretty cool. You know, it reminds me of the old school days, but none of these guys really look legit. You know, I was just watching Boardwalk Empire not too long ago. Now, Boardwalk Empire and The Sopranos are two series I constantly like. I bounce back and forth from because like I like the aspect of what The Sopranos is. People get it confused and say, "Oh, that's a mafia show." Sopranos isn't a mafia show. Are you kidding me? Like, if you've seen enough mafia things, you will know that The Sopranos is not a mafia show. That's a drama. It's a drama with mafia influence, with mafia elements of it. But no sake of common traditional mafia films, this is not really a mafia show. It's a drama. The Boardwalk Empire, you could sort of say the same thing. It's not really a mafia show. It's more of a prohibition, you know, it's an era show, I would say, but it does cover a lot with the mafia, and I gotta say, I keep bouncing back to old Lucky Luciano. You know, it's cool to see that he does have, like, because I would grow up listening to, like, oh, you know, you're related to Lucky Luciano, you know, he's a really great mobster, and, you know, but that would just be my family saying that. So it's like, oh, of course, we're gonna say family members are the best of the best. But then when I started hearing more about Luciano doing so much more, and other people were saying that in history and how smart he was and who he rolled with, how he rolled with Arnold Rothstein. I think that guy was a talented dude. That guy was smart as shit, dude. The way they got business done over there, what are you fucking kidding me, dude? I love the Boardwalk Empire. I honestly think I like that show a little bit more than The Sopranos, only because The Sopranos only covered one family, pretty much, you know, with little hints of New York. The Boardwalk Empire, you've got like 5 or 6 different families being covered all at once. It's actually a shame that they only have 5 seasons, but I think they did all right. They touched everything as best as they could. They kind of made Lucky to look a little like, I don't know, I always got the impression that they made him look a little weak in that show. Same with Al Capone, but I do recognize like there are a lot of like truth behind some of the scenes, and I do like how they set everything up. But with the Sopranos are gonna probably have some of the best one-liners that I'll ever hear in my life. Like, I have some of the most funniest, memorable quotes from the Sopranos, and almost none of it has anything to do with anything. It's like the most random moments to me are the funniest moments. Like, I got a buddy of mine that I call from time to time, and then like I'll randomly, like, at the end of the conversation before I hang up, I'll be like, "Get that egg salad out of his mouth." Because I don't know why, we were sitting there watching The Sopranos one time, and it was where Carmine was sitting outside, and he ends up dying from the stroke. But he's like eating his egg salad, and they're like, "Carmine, you all right? You barely touched your egg salad." And he's like, "Too much carcass." He goes, "What's that? I smell burning hair." And then Johnny Sack is like, "I smell freshly cut grass." And then all of a sudden he's like, "So, you gonna take your cousin out?" And then Carmine gets up and he's like stroking out and he falls, and Tony Soprano's like trying to like get him to breathe, and then the dude in the back goes, "Get that egg salad out of his mouth." And you see Tony Soprano sticking in his fingers like a fish hook, trying to get egg salad out of this mobster's mouth. To me, that was I don't know why I thought that was funny. Not that the guy was hurt or like dying, but because of the egg salad. Get that egg salad out of his mouth. And then Gigi, you know, I can't recollect the scene with Gigi, but the one of the last episodes in Sopranos, Paulie was like naming off the capos that died when they became capos, and he got to Gigi. And Tony was like, "Gigi died taking a shit." That was funny because Gigi did die on the toilet, so technically that was true. When you think about it, all the capos were like either rats or they got clipped or they just died of weird causes. That situation with Ralph was crazy, where he ended up beating the shit out of Ralph and killing Ralph. And then he calls Chris, who's stoned to the gills, mind you. He shows up and goes, "Whoa, what the fuck happened here?" And Tony just goes, "I found him like this." Tony's looking all fucked up, and he just goes, "I found him like this." And then he's like, "Look at me." He's like, "You're high." Dude, that, like, when he said that scene, when he said, "You're high," like, he was like, "No, look at me. You're high." When he said that shit, that gave me a flashback to when, when I was a kid getting caught smoking weed, and somebody was like, "You're high. Look at your eyes. You're high." I remember that stuff. That was funny. Hold on 1 second. This is the camera's. I don't know if the camera's showing me, but on my screen it just went black. So let me just. No, maybe not. Huh. Sorry, my bad. But yeah, there's some good soprano scenes. The Citrolo, I go around calling people Citrolo all the time. Gabagool is pretty much a staple vocabulary word that I'm always gonna remember. Um, the Bing, that's the place I'll never go to because I never go to strip clubs anyway. So it's like I'll never go to the Bada Bing, but the Bada Bing is a cool strip club name. There was there was a lot of cool people in that show actually. There was a lot of cool people, and then some of those people actually went over to the Boardwalk Empire, like Butch. I don't remember Don something. I don't even remember the guy's name now. I'm drawing a blank. But one of the Chicago guys, the Chicago Mafia bosses, he plays him, and then I believe who else? There was a couple other people in there. I'm drawing a blank right now. But The Sopranos has to be The Sopranos and the Boardwalk Empire have to be some of my favorite mafia related shows. They're not like full mafia completely. Like they're not like a John Gotti film or something where it's just straight mafia, or The Godfather where it's just straight mafia. There's elements to it that pertain a large amount of the show that pertain to be non-mafia related. So that's why I say it like that. Like The Sopranos isn't just about mafia. It's about his family. You know, mafia shows don't have you bringing your kid to college. Bringing showing your daughter's life. Yeah, how many mafia movies or shows have you seen actually? Like The Godfather, do you see them sitting there and the guy going, "Oh, well, I gotta take my daughter to school"? No, it's also about a family man. It's got a lot to do with the family man who balances mob life with family life, with the end of an era, with the complications he has with panic attacks. It's like a whole different situation. It's not purely mafia. So it's like, I don't know, when people call it a mafia show, it's not really a mafia show. It's like a drama. It's a drama with mafia elements. But I don't know, I could be wrong too, but that's just my opinion of it. Um, Last but not least, dude, the tax man came a coming. Normally I get refunds, and not this time. I owe the federal, but I do get a state refund, so it's gonna like almost even itself out. And then last but not least, what was I forgetting? I was forgetting to mention something else. Um, no, I guess not. Revan's doing good. Revan's up for another vet visit pretty soon. That's gonna be fun. We did some spring cleaning, sort of. So we got the back seat. We have the whole row up in the back seat. Revan's sleeping over there somewhere. That's all gonna be really fun, though. I'm looking forward to everything. Um, Yeah, Uncle Sam's taking some tax money from me, which is fine. It's a refreshing change because normally I always get refunds, so it's always cool to see that. I also had that court case with the credit card company, and I think they understand my situation right now, how it's all sort of the van life, living outside sort of situation. So they're willing to work with me, so they're not really bothering me about it right now. But I'm sure sometime down the line it's going to represent itself, which is fine because I'd like to think in a few months I'll be in a much better position. I mean, I already feel like I've been getting gradually into a better position, so we'll see what happens. I've been a little sick lately, but I mean, other than that, I mean, we have been good. Revan's been better than ever. We did the food change with him. We got him off of Pedigree onto Purina One. And if anyone's got any food suggestions or just like extra things, let me know. I'd love to hear it. Any suggestions about bones and stuff, I'd love to hear that because I cannot give him regular bones because he crushes right through them and they become like shattered in little shards. But I'm not going to give him raw bones because I don't want the bacteria going all over the van. So I'm not sure if I should just stick with pig ears, bully sticks, and like I'd like to give him shin bones because they're really hard and he stops chewing them once he gets all the stuff off, and then I can just put peanut butter inside and make him try to go for it like it's a Kong ball type of thing. But I don't know. I think he's doing good though as far as like growing up and developing properly. So I think he's doing everything he needs to. Um, I'm not sure if there's any other topics I'm missing right now. um, I don't know. I think that was it. Andor comes out in, what's the date today? The 11th. So the Andor comes out in, I think, 9 days. That's not bad. I'm actually excited about that. Andor's gonna be pretty fun though. My voice is all cracked. Hold on. Andor's gonna be pretty. There he goes. Andor's gonna be pretty cool. I can't wait to see that. I feel like it's gonna be rushed, but I'll take whatever Star Wars I can get at this point. So, with that being said, I think we pretty much wrapped everything up. Halo's at Netflix. Please don't renew that. Please don't renew that, guys. And if you do, cast somebody new to play Master Chief. Look at me. Look at me. Dustin Poirier is the best person to play Master Chief. If you're going to take the helmet off and leave the helmet off like we're clearly doing here, then we need somebody that looks the part. And nobody looks more badass for the role of Master Chief than Dustin Poirier. 100%. I'd say Money Moicano, but he doesn't have the accent for it. Unfortunately, no disrespect to Money. I love all the UFC fighters. Don't beat me up. I have like being me. I have like I have to try to fight back, and I'm gonna lose. So please don't beat me up, you guys. No, but I respect the UFC. I'm actually really excited. That's the last topic I wanted to get into. Actually, the UFC fights that are coming on tomorrow night. I'm a big fan of what's going on. I'm going to give you my predictions of the fights I can think of off the top of my head. Number one, Bryce Mitchell needs to knock that bald guy out. He needs to knock Mr. Clean out. I understand Bryce said some really bad things, so I do hope he gets clocked in the face once. Those comments about the dogs, about how he... I didn't like the comments about the dogs, so I hope Gene Silva does get him in the mouth one time. But I do hope Bryce Mitchell knocks this guy out. He needs to knock him out. Mitchell needs a statement, otherwise he's going to lose momentum. He's on a 2-fight losing streak, I think, so he really needs to get it together. There's other guys looking to leapfrog him. Volk and Lopez, I love Volk. I think Volk's one of my favorites, but for the sake of the division and the integrity of the division, I hope Lopez walks away with that title. Because if Volk wins the title, then you're going to hear Ilia Topuria talking about, oh, well, you know, I beat Volk, I knocked him out, so is he really the champ? At least if you get Lopez as the champ, Ilia Topuria can't really make that claim. So it's still like, yeah, well, you know, I'm still here, but yeah, you never beat him. So you can't say, oh, okay, well, technically you're still the champ. I feel like if Volk comes out with the W, it's still going to be justifiable. Oh, yeah, no, you're good, dude. Take your time, bro. Take your time. I find it, yeah, I find it imperative for the division that Lopez wins. I hope he finds a way to pull it off in convincing fashion. Yair Rodriguez and Pitbull, I hope Pitbull wins. I'm really a big fan of those Bellator fighters, and for the longest time, Bellator's been getting rid off as like a second run fighting corporation, or, you know, like a second tier fighting corporation, and it couldn't be further from the truth. There was a lot of top-notch talent in Bellator, same as UFC. So it's like, I'm glad to see fighters like MVP get in there, fighters like Pitbull get their opportunity, because I think it's really deserving, and I think that I'm glad they get a chance to show people how badass they really are. So I look forward to see Pitbull fight. I hope Pitbull wins, quite frankly, because number one, I think, as I said, Pitbull deserves it. Number two, Bellator fighters are just as good as UFC fighters. And number three, I'm a Jeremy Stephens fan, and I still feel a little weird about the Yair Rodriguez thing. So nothing against Yair. I still wish him the best. I respect all fighters. I think he's a great fighter. He's got a lot of skill, a lot of talent, and I still respect him. So I have no problem with Yair. I think he's good. With that being said, the last thing... Oh, wait, I'm missing a fight. Dominic Reyes is fighting, and I hope Dominic Reyes pulls it off. I think he was a cool guy. I liked him back then. I watched him from when he started this little, like, win streak before he fought John. Did he beat John? I don't know. I'm not qualified to answer that question. I saw the fight only once, and I think it was just the highlights, so I can't really tell you for sure. But with that being said, Conor McGregor's still not fighting it. Oh! How could I forget? Is Michael Chandler and Paddy Pimblett tomorrow night also? That's a fight I want to. If I actually wasn't broke and I actually had money to bet, I would be betting on the Paddy Pimblett and Michael Chandler fight. Paddy Pimblett's gonna win, right? Paddy Pimblett's gonna win. But if I had money to gamble, I put it on Michael Chandler for knockout. That's it. That's all I know. Yeah, no, I'm a huge UFC fan. I watch it all the time. Well, I can't really watch it anymore because I don't really have a way to. But sometimes my buddy will watch it and he'll have yeah, he'll have it on the not the UFC site, the ESPN site, and he'll point my camera over so I can see it sometimes. But nothing illegal. He buys the stream, so everybody just relax. Dana White, thank you. Don't throw me in jail, Dana. I'm already living in a van. You don't have to. You don't gotta do that. Yo, Dana, if you ever need a professional pet waste remover for your pets, just please let me know. Any of you UFC fighters, you guys are, you know, anybody in general, we're always happy. We're like Mario and Luigi, me and Revan. Anyway, yeah, so I think I'm still gonna end up doing a stream later on, depending on how everything turns out right now, quite frankly, because I still got a little bit more to do. I'm hoping I have to see one last client, and they wanted me to come a little later, so I'm coming. Right now it's 4:10, so I'm gonna go over now. Hopefully get there around 4:30, and I'm hoping they pay me because they still owe me from last month. So I'm really hoping they're not one of these people that are trying to take advantage of like the situation. I really hope not. But either way, I got the taxes done. I got the taxes paid. Pretty much, the bills are pretty much good. Gas sucks in this car. I still have to fill up. And other than that, though, we're good. I can't eat meat today because of Lent. Um, yeah, but finishing the work week off strong. I got 2 clients tomorrow also to clean, but that's fine. I don't mind doing the weekend jobs. And then we have the fights tomorrow, so that's gonna be fun. I might even pop by if I can find a way to stream and watch the fight at the same time. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I'll let everybody go. Thank you for sticking around, bro. I appreciate it. I got a couple more Fallout things